Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. If you're seeing my face for the first time, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So in today's video, we'll be talking about essential things you need as a first year student. This video is dedicated to all the freshers, all of you that have just gotten admission and you're excited to come to school. These are essential things I think you need as a first year student. Please, if you hear any noise around, any car, vehicle noise, please ignore it. I'm at home, and as you guys know already, I live close to the road, so there's always going to be vehicle sound. This video is divided into two sections: the things you need if you are going to live in the hostel, and the things you need if you're going to live in the lodge. I did not live in the hostel, I lived in the lodge. I've been living in the lodge throughout my years in school, so I'm going to start from there because that's what I know. And then I also asked some of my friends that lived in the hostel, and they gave me essential things that they think you would need as a first year student, things that they used. In my school, staying in the hostel is compulsory for a first year student because you pay for it. But I didn't stay in my own hostel. I don't even think I know where I was allocated to. I got a place outside school, and ever since I've been staying off camp, I've never stayed in the hostel. So let's get into the video. The first thing you want to do if you want to stay off camp is to get a good place to stay. Getting a good place, getting a place that is accessible, a place that has the basic things you need like light, water, and security is very important before you move into the place. Now that's out of the way. First essential thing on my list is a mattress. You need somewhere to lay your back when you come back from school. You need somewhere to lie down. You need to rest. You just need a mattress, and a pillow would do fine. Even if it's one pillow, just get one pillow. It helps your back. It helps your neck. Although some people don't like pillows, but I cannot sleep without a pillow. The next on my list are curtains. It is very essential, especially if you are a girl, to have curtains in your room because you want your privacy. See, it is normal for people to pass and tend to look into a room whose windows are open. If your windows are open and your room is just exposed, anybody that is passing will look inside. Even me, if I'm passing, I will look. It's just instincts. It happens a lot. So if you want your privacy and you don't want people to see what you're doing inside your room, if you're a girl that don't wear clothes all the time, or you wear very little clothing when you're in your room, please buy curtains. They are important. The next essential thing on my list are buckets. You need at least two buckets in your room if you want to stay off camp, because you don't plan to go about knocking and begging your neighbors for their buckets. You need buckets to store water, you need buckets to fetch water if you have to go out to get water, you need buckets to wash. The next essential thing on my list to buy is a cooking gas or a stove. I would recommend a gas because I personally don't like stoves. They can make your pots dirty, they can make your kitchen dirty, all those charcoal stains, or jacuzzi charcoal soot, whatever it is that stains the wall when you use stove. I don't like them. So I would personally recommend a cooking gas, like a cylinder, to cook whatever size you can get them in. That's a very important thing to have in your room if you are staying off camp, because you need to cook and you need to eat. You guys know I am a fan of cooking your own food. I don't recommend always buying outside. So if you're going to stay off camp, please have a source of cooking in your kitchen, and then also have pots and plates and spoons and cups and those basic things you need in your kitchen. I don't recommend going to beg things like this. I don't recommend going to ask your neighbor for things like, if you cannot buy them as you're coming to school, because maybe you can't afford to buy all of those things at once, please take one of these things from your mother's kitchen. She's going to give you. Your mama, she not go pursue you. If you cannot afford to buy these things while you're coming to school because of cost and expenses, and you plan to buy them later, you can take some of these things from home. You mustn't buy new things. I know people that bring everything they use in school from the house: cotton, pots, and plates, everything that they fetch them from kitchen one by one, carry from school. Nobody is going to ask you whether it's brand new or is this or is that. It doesn't matter. Make sure you have these things and get them from whatever source you can get them from. So having a cooking gas, pots, at least two pots, plates, spoons, bowls, cups, and all of those things are very important to have in your kitchen. The next essential thing on my list is a reading table and a chair. This is important, although some people don't buy it, some people don't care, especially boys, but I feel it's important because as a student, once you lie down on that bed and you think you want to read for like 2 hours, my dear, you will do 30 minutes and the rest you will spend it in dreamland. So I recommend a reading table and a reading chair so that you can study properly. And you also need a chair for when you have guests, because let's face it, no matter how introverted you are, one or two people go come visit you. Example, me. You need a chair for them to sit. You don't always want people to sit on your bed. Sometimes they come in groups and you don't expect to just crowd everybody on your bed, or expect everyone to sit on the floor. So having a chair is important, and of course a reading table. If you can't get a reading table, you can just get a small round table. Sometimes you sit on the floor and place your book on it and just study. These things are essential to me. They're important. Next essential thing on my list to have if you stay off camp is a ceiling fan or a table fan or a standing fan, whichever one. I personally have a standing fan. When the weather gets hot, my dear, you will need something to blow you breeze. It is essential. Some people think it's luxury, some people think it's excess. My dear, get yourself a fan. The hot weather in Nigeria is no respecter of any man. So please get yourself a fan as a student. It's not too much luxury. It's important. To me, it's essential because when there's lights and everywhere is hot, I'm not going to sit down and still fan myself. When there's electricity, I warm my fan and I'll rest. It helps you relax because you need to relax. You not come to this world to suffer. It's hard enough that you are schooling in Nigeria. How much more coming back to your house and there's nothing to blow breeze on your body. So please get yourself a fan, get yourself a table fan, a ceiling fan, a standing fan. In fact, I recommend also having a hand fan for when there's no light. You see that air is important. The next essential thing on my list are food stuff. Food is important. Some of you buy more clothes than food when you are resuming school. Let me tell you, when you come to school, your fashion sense will change. You will realize that half of the things you brought to school, they no follow. So my dear, bring minimal clothing and more food stuff. You will eat more than the clothes you wear. You will eat more food than wear more clothes. Take it from me. See, you need food, and you need food. Buy enough food and come to school. For that first year, you're still navigating your way around school. You're still deciding how it is, how your school be. You don't know how on they do things. You don't really know how to do with it. Buy food, leave clothes. So most of our schools have markets close by. So clothes are something you can always enter the market and buy. But to see food, you don't want to be buying food stuff all the time in school environment. Trust me, you will understand with time. You're still coming, you're still entering school. So I recommend buying food stuff. Have enough food stuff in your house. Have food. Make sure you have food. Even when you don't have money, please, if you have food, you will survive. So make sure you have food stuff. Another essential thing I would recommend is your drugs, your medications. If you have a health challenge, maybe you're asthmatic or you're anemic or whatever thing that could be wrong with you, please don't come to school without your drugs. Bring them as much as you can. Don't bring one and say you will buy in school, or you bring two and say if you finish, I go buy for school. Please bring as much as you can afford to. If you're going anywhere in school, go with them. If you're asthmatic, please go around with your inhaler and whatever thing. If you have allergies, anything you used to take for your allergies, bring, and don't bring one. If you have ulcer, please bring your drugs. Don't come to school and say you will buy in school. It's true, there are pharmacies in school and drugstores where you can get these things, but it's important to have it there because most of the times we come to school and we don't remember to buy these things until the thing was until we have an attack or something. Even if you are healthy, there are things that there are certain over-the-counter drugs you should have in your house, like paracetamol, flagyl, amomine, and all those simple things you can take. It's not good to self-medicate. I am not telling you to self-medicate, but some of these things are things you should just have in your house. If you have a headache and you're feeling feverish, you might not have the strength to go out there to buy the drugs at that moment, but if you have them in your house, you can just take them and you know, put yourself together. Some of us have supplements that we take that helps us buy those things from home. And most of the times, things like this are always cheaper in the house than coming to school and buying them. They are more expensive in school. So if you can, please buy them as much as you can at home and bring them to school and go around with them. Don't be asthmatic and go to school without your inhaler. You are risking your life. It's not even about stressing people. You are risking your life. Work out with your inhaler. Go with. I've seen people that have these things and they, where is your inhaler? I left it at home. Why are you leaving it at home? You are not in the house. You are at school. Is there a part of you that you forgot in the house too? Go around with whatever thing you need to survive. Okay, don't leave it at home. So for the next section, we'll talk about things that you need if you're going to stay in the hostel. I did not get a lot of information, but I'm going to give you the little I have. The number one thing that I realized that they were all saying is your bucket. There are different buckets for different things. If you stay in the hostel, you have the buckets for washing, and then you have what they call shiting buckets. I don't know, because the hostel requires you to share toilets with a whole lot of other people. So it's not necessary to go and sit on that toilet seat before you go and carry things that you did not bring to school. So it is recommended that you have a bucket where you can do your business and it is important, and you don't share that bucket with anyone. You have to keep it clean, you have to wash it all the time. So they use that bucket to pee and to do the number two instead of to use the public toilets. The next thing they mentioned was to get a cupboard to put your items in, because you're in your hostel, you're sharing that room with about at least four other girls that you do not know from anywhere. It's very rare to share a room with your sister or a cousin or someone you know. But even if you know one cousin, you don't know the other ones. And people tend to bring other people to share their room with. Sometimes they pair them. I said at least because I've seen hostels where there are 8, there are 13, there are 15, in one room. You don't know who is who. It is recommended that you get a cupboard and a key to lock it. So in this cupboard, you can just put all your important items and lock it. And even your box of clothes, you also lock it in the hostel. We're not saying everybody's still in the hostel. We are saying you don't know who is with you in the hostel. So to safeguard your items and not always have to be the one looking for her things, put them in a cupboard and lock it. The next essential thing you need if you stay in the hostel is a stove. I talked about having a cooking gas in the lodge, but in the hostel, my school hostel, they do not allow cooking gas. They only recommend stoves. Now, I don't know how other school hostels handle their stuff. I don't know how they do it. I know that some private schools, they allow cooking gas. In fact, some of these private schools, you even come with air fryer and all of those things that make cooking easy. But for governments, universities, state government and federal governments, I don't think we have the liberty to bring all of these chakara things. You come with your stove. So because you're coming with a stove, you need a kerosene gallon. You need a gallon to buy kerosene because the stove works with kerosene. It's a thread stove. All those stoves that they have thread inside. I'll put a picture of it up here. The fourth thing I'm going to say, which is something someone mentioned and I feel is also important, is a mosquito net. You're going to be in the hostel. You're not going to be responsible for opening or closing the doors. The doors and windows might always be open. You cannot always handle how people make use of these things because you're not the only one staying in the room. So I feel it is important to have a mosquito net that you can just tie over your bed when you want to sleep. You cover yourself up. If you stay off camp, it's easy to just go out there and get insecticide and fleet your room and all of that. But if you stay in the hostel where that same room you people cook and sleep, people's water are open and all of those things, you cannot just go and buy insecticide and flee the hostel. So I recommend that you get a mosquito net so that you can save yourself wahala. You can also get a fan in the hostel. I heard of someone that had this small table fan. Some people have this rechargeable fan where you can just recharge it in the afternoon, and then at night when there's light and you want to sleep, you can just put it on and face it to yourself. It doesn't have to be the big one so that you don't inconvenience others. So you should know that alongside your stove and pots, you get your kitchen utensils, get your food stuff. So some of the things I mentioned that you need in lodge, you also need them in the hostel, like pots, kitchen utensils, fan, torchlights. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you need torchlights, especially if you stay in the hostel. Also, if you stay in the lodge, but people that stay in the lodge, they tend to have generators and other sources of light. But torchlight is also important. So general things that I think you need, either if you're staying in the lodge or in the hostel, are hangers and clips. You need hangers to hang your clothes, and you need clips to keep your clothes in place when you hang them on the line. You need toiletries, your soap, your cream, your washing soap, your detergent, toothbrush, toothpaste. People tend to forget these things. Floss, anything you need to just keep you in check. You need your perfumes, you need your deodorants, because you don't want to go to school and be killing people with all of these things. And as a fresher, you tend to sweat a lot because you go waka waiting no good, except you're in private schools where you already have class. In my own school, you are doing a lot of general courses with other departments, so you people tend to move from one place to another. Please make sure you have deodorant. If you don't have perfume, buy deodorant. You don't want to smell. And then when you get home, wash your clothes. Don't repeat clothes, especially if you had a very stressful day and you sweat on the clothes you wore that day. Wear something else. So it's important that you come to school with your perfumes, your deodorants, your toothbrush, your toothpaste. If you're a girl, come with your sanitary pad or buy in school. But I always recommend buying these things in bulk when coming from home. Buy as much as you can afford to. Bring clothes. Yes, come with clothes. Clothes are important. Oh, yeah, you should buy more food stuff than clothes, but please come with clothes. You want to look good, you want to look like your mate. It helps you feel confident. Come with footwears. If you like makeup, you can come with minimum makeup. Come with face cap or bucket hats because of the sunglasses. If you use prescription lenses, please come with it. If you wear contact lens, come with it. These things are important. There are things that people tend to forget when coming to school. A lot of people just focus on buying clothes. To buy minimal clothing and more food stuff and all of these essential things you need. With the way things are now, the economy is not really favoring everybody. So to get these things cheaper, I would recommend that you ask around, go to your school group chat. Most of these schools, they create a group chat, and on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and all of those platforms, go there and ask of people that want to sell off their properties. There are people that have graduated, because most times freshers coming to school, in the new section and all of that, the people that just graduated and are selling off their things, you can get those things cheaper from those people that are selling off their properties. Things like curtains, because curtain is expensive. Don't let anybody lie to you. Curtain costs, though, and in a small room you will need at least three curtains if the room just has one window. How much more a room that has two windows and one door? So you can ask about for people that are selling off their properties. In fact, all of these things I mentioned, you can get them from students that are leaving school. Your chairs, your table, curtains, even mattress, you can get them from students that are leaving school. Pots, gas, stove, cylinder, gas cylinder, all of these things you can get them from students that are leaving, and you can get them half the price of what you get them in the market, because they just want to do away with them. So they would give you for a good price, and they are students. You can hassle the price. Some of these students will even allow you pay them twice, especially those ones that you're taking over their rooms. So that's another tip to do it. Another way to get these things cheaper if you are staying off camp is to get a roommate. When you have a roommate, you guys can share the cost of all of these things and join money and buy them together. That will help you reduce the amount you're going to spend if you live alone. So guys, these are the few essential things I think you need as a fresher. I know there are other things I didn't mention. Please, if you're watching this video and you remember some things that you think I should have mentioned, leave it in the comment section below so someone will read it and they'll get help from there. Also, if you haven't subscribed to me, please do so. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Leave your comments in the comment section below, share with your friends, and I'll see you in my next one.